The recording will be shared on the meetups page at the end of the meetup, and it will also be shared on our virtual Muley YouTube channel. And again, at the end of the session, we'll share a feedback survey for all of you. Just feel free to put in your feedback and also let us know what kind of meetups you would like to see in the future. That's going to help us get better at these meetups and also bring the right speakers for our meetups, right? So please do fill up the survey at the end of the meetup. Keep in mind, if you have any questions related to training, we have a link where you can ask any questions related to training. For anything related to training and certifications, we have a Mule 4 self-serve course, which you can do a self-serve training. And at the end of the training, you will also get a certification voucher to get certified on Mule 4. If you have any more doubts, we have our portal, the help.mulesoft.com, where you can post your questions and get the community to help you. And if you have any questions related to data weave or anything related to your Mule projects, do use Stack Overflow, where we have MuleSoft tags and we have our engineers helping you out there. There's two exciting meetups coming up in August. We have an event for Women Who Mule. They are going to be having a fireside chat with our MuleSoft CPO, Amer, and it's on August 2nd. So make sure that you RSVP for that. Another online virtual Muley event is coming up. That's custom metrics and performance monitoring using custom metrics demo. So that's the speaker is Sushmit, and it's on August 5th. Again, if you're joining first time this meetup and you want to get notified of the future events, make sure that you have joined the online English meetup channel, and you will get notified for those events. Okay, so again, moderators for today, it's going to be me. I'm Sandeep Deshmukh. I'm a customer success technical architect working in the customer success team. I've been working with MuleSoft for the past 2.5 years. Before MuleSoft, I was also working for a MuleSoft customer, and I've been working with the community for the past 4 years. So happy to be a moderator today. And also with me, I have Sabrina. Sabrina, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Sabrina. I'm sure I know many of you from our community programs. I am the Associate Manager, Community Marketing, and I manage our Mentors and Ambassador program, as well as all of our social channels. So reach out if you have any blog ideas. Always happy to help. And I've been with MuleSoft about 1.5 years now.
Awesome. Let's jump into the panel discussion today. So we have all our interns who are excited to talk about their experience in MuleSoft. So Sabrina, over to you.
All right, so we're going to bring everyone on screen. Sandeep, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So before we kind of get started into all of the questions we have for them, I'd love to kind of go around and have each of our wonderful interns introduce themselves. So I'm just going to go with how I see on my screen. So Jackie, over to you if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Yes. So hi, everybody. My name is Jackie Wolfson. Thanks for being here and listening to our panel today. So I went to University of Michigan for undergrad. Studied chemical engineering and started my career as a technology consultant before deciding to pursue my MBA at Chicago Booth. And this summer, I am interning as a competitive product marketing. So really happy to be here with you guys.
And Natalia, over to you.
Yeah, hi everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm Natalia Gutierrez, and I'm an incoming senior at New York University Stern School of Business. And I'm currently working as a customer success intern with the Health and Life Sciences team.
Great. Alexis?
Hi everyone. My name is Alexis Weintraub, and I'm a rising senior at Fordham University in New York. I'm studying computer science, and this summer I'm a professional services consulting intern also on the Health and Life Sciences team.
Awesome. And Taylor?
Hey everybody, Taylor Alexander. Here in Atlanta. I am graduated from Spelman College, and I'm now pursuing a master's in science at Florida State in large data management, and I work on this customer success strategy and architecture team.
All right, I'm flipping the circle. So Taylor, back to you for this first question. But why did you decide to pursue an internship with MuleSoft?
Yeah, so great question. When I decided to pursue MuleSoft, I was in a space in graduate school where I wanted to, pursue those opportunities in tech and learn more just about the clouds, what people thought about tech, and what just the next generation of technology coming out. And so when I decided to pursue MuleSoft, I was like, okay, this company is the leader in all of those things. And so just to get my foot in the door was just something exciting to me. So that's kind of what made me pursue it, just knowing MuleSoft was a leader in the space.
Alexis?
Yeah, similar to Taylor, I feel like I've always been really passionate about innovation and doing things that haven't been done before and paving the way for others to do things as well. And like Taylor said, I feel like MuleSoft is a leader in that area. And I just feel like they're doing a lot of really exciting things and changing the way that people think of technology. And I wanted to be part of that.
Awesome. Natalia?
Yeah, so I never really knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew that I just wanted to try a bunch of different things and see what I liked. And I am studying finance, but when it came time to applying for internships, I was applying to anything that sounded interesting, and tech was one thing that kept very interested in learning about. So it was when I saw that MuleSoft was offering this internship, I thought it would be a great learning opportunity for me, and it's been really great and learn about something that I really had no idea about before.
Awesome. Jackie?
Yeah, so I have similar reasons to echo kind of what the panelists have said, but I knew in the first year of my MBA program to pursue a career in tech. And like the other panelists said, something that was really important for me was working for a company that was a market leader and for a product that I believed was going to continue to be a leader in the future. And from my own experiences working in technology consulting, I, especially on software implementations, I felt the pains firsthand of not having a really good integration technology and strategy. And so when I learned more about MuleSoft, I think what like the company does really resonated with me, and I was very much bought into the vision. So that's what got me excited to intern this summer.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to go back to you again because we'll keep going back and forth each way. But for this question for all of you, what advice would you give to someone looking to get involved with the high-tech industry, either as a technical persona or a business professional?
Yes. So definitely very good. Oh, are we going the other way?
Back to you. Back to you first.
So a couple pieces of advice that I would give. So I think the first thing that's really helpful is to really do like a deep dive into the job descriptions of the types of companies and roles that you're really interested in working for, and then really taking the time to network with people in those roles and in those companies that you're interested in, and really ask those questions to figure out what are the skills needed, what are the backgrounds that people are coming from. So you can really understand like what are those skill sets, and then you can kind of be able to kind of take a look at your resume, see what skills you already have, and see where there might be some gaps, and then work to kind of fill in any gaps that there might be. And for me personally, coming from a more technical background, I knew that I needed to deepen my business skills for specifically the types of roles that I was really interested in tech. So pursue an MBA to kind of try and fill that gap a little bit. And then I would say the second piece of advice that I would give is just to immerse yourself in the industry as much as possible. So especially if you're maybe from a non-technical background or if you're coming from a different industry, I think just reading up on blogs, different news sources, listening to great podcasts can help you get comfortable with the lingo and just get more comfortable with how the industry operates. And so I think that's really helpful as well.
Talia?
Yeah, that's awesome. Exactly what Jackie said. Like, that was all really great advice. I was just going to say definitely something that helped me was reading the news and staying up to date with all the latest technologies, and yeah, trying to learn more from podcasts. And just there's so much information out there, like it's impossible to know all of it, but just staying up to date and knowing all the new technology that's coming out. And if you want to be a part of it, then you just got to keep learning, and it's a great way to. So that's my advice. Stay up to date.
Alexis?
Yeah, I want to echo what they said. I can't speak too much to the business side of things, but I think from a tech perspective, it's important to be persistent. I think it can be really difficult and discouraging to get started in tech, especially when you're trying to get your first internship or your first job. I think you're going to get a lot of rejections before you get an acceptance, but I think the important thing is to stick with it and take from those rejections and use that toward improving your skills for the future so that your next interview goes even better.
Yeah. Yeah, and just to add to what Alexis said, just from coming from the technical space, some advice I would give is to brush up on your technical skills. So like everyone on the panel has said, try to stay on top of new things, but I'm honestly going to say the opposite when it comes to technical space. Have a solid foundation in the algorithmic thinking and the concepts that you have, because once you have a solid understanding, you can translate within whatever field that you want. And so while I had a background in college, I did Python or C++, I was able to use that same foundational understanding and translate it into JSON or XML or Java. So I would say just kind of have a solid understanding of what you know, so you can explain it differently.
I love all of that advice. And I think when I'm still pretty young in my career as well. And I think that's so important and things I found helpful too. So if you're listening out there and you're just getting started, take their advice is my advice to you all. All right. So Taylor, I'm going to go back to you with this one. So as women in tech, what would you say is the most important skill set you have for navigating a male-dominated industry?
Yes. That was a lot in that question.
Very pointed.
Yeah, sometimes it can be scary, right? Because you feel like you're the only woman, you may have a softer voice, but honestly, I would say ask questions. Everyone is always willing to help if you ask questions. And then another point I work was do some research. What I've learned is that people don't always want to give you the answer because the answer could be so large. So if you could kind of say, this is exactly where I'm stuck and what I don't understand, people are so willing to get you up to speed. And so I want to kind of give a shout out to Sandeep, because I've pinged him multiple times and asked lots of questions. So just don't be afraid to ask those questions. Even if they sound silly to you, it can be so helpful.
Alexis?
Yeah, I think, honestly, I think a huge part of it is confidence.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of women in tech experience imposter syndrome, and they feel like maybe they're not qualified or they're not good enough to be in the position where they are. But I think the important thing is to have the confidence to know that you do belong there and remind yourself that you deserve to be where you are. I think sometimes if you want like a method, it might help to make a list of your qualifications or all the things that you've done to get to where you are, so that when you're doubting yourself, you can look back on that list as a reminder. And just know that you are just as qualified as everyone else to be there, and you deserve to be there as much as everyone else.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Natalia?
Yeah, so being confident is the number one thing. We have to know that we're here because we deserve it and we're in the same positions that they are. And that's one thing that I've noticed in MuleSoft is that. And another important thing that I would say is like find a girl group, like find people that you can stick together with and band together and be a part of the team. And you can ask anyone for help, but if you feel comfortable, like there's always women that you can ask who are willing to help all the time. So just staying confident, you deserve to be here, and just remind yourself that constantly.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with everything that all of you guys discussed already. I think something else that's really important is to always make sure that you're being vocal about what you're looking for in a role and always advocating for yourself. So for example, if you're in a position where you feel like you can take on more responsibility or you really want to stretch yourself and get to the next level and take on more of a leadership role, making sure that you're speaking up, that you're articulating really what you want, and making the case to make sure that you're getting those opportunities that will help you make it to that next step in your career. And then you guys have kind of touched on this too, but I think just having really good mentors can be a great way to kind of get advice and manage any obstacles there might be.
Yes, mentorship is definitely important. All right, so switching gears a little bit, because I know everyone wants to hear a little bit about the awesome projects you've been working on. Would you mind telling us a little bit about what you've been working on, favorite part of the internship, what your goals are in the future based on this internship, just kind of a brief summary of what you've been working on, because there's some really cool projects there. So Jackie, I'll hand it back to you and we'll go the other way in the circle.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely have had a lot of fun in my internship so far. So I'm just about over my midway point. So I've been here for about 6 weeks, and I feel like there's so much that's gone on in the first 6 weeks. So it's definitely been an awesome experience so far. A little bit more into the types of projects that I've been working on. So as I mentioned, I'm on our competitive product marketing team, and our team's role is to really help articulate how we're differentiated from competitors and why a customer or prospect should choose to invest in us and invest in MuleSoft. And so for one of my projects this summer, I have gotten to do a deeper dive into one of MuleSoft's competitors and really help develop the messaging and articulate how we're differentiated. And then at the end of the summer, I'll get to kind of deliver that to our sales team, which is really exciting. Excuse me. And then another project that I've gotten to work on is to help do some of our go-to-market research, which involves interviewing people from across the organization, synthesizing kind of all of the research findings and presenting to some MuleSoft leadership teams. So I think in my internship, I've gotten to touch a lot of different aspects of product marketing, which has been a really great experience. And I think my favorite part has just been, I think as an intern, you're really encouraged to do coffee chats and meet people from across the organization. There are tons of different speaker series, and you just have the opportunity to learn so much about what's going on in the company. And so I think getting exposure to all of that has been awesome.
Yeah, coffee chats. It's the way to go. Natalia?
Yeah, so I'm also just over my midway point, and it's been really exciting so far. As a customer success intern, my job has been to help the team of customer success managers stay organized and efficient by just organizing and streamlining their reports and all their processes. Because as a customer success intern, the customer success role is so client facing. I get to sit in on the meetings and I get to listen, and it's all been a great learning experience, just getting to know the lingo and how the whole customer success process works. And that's been really amazing. On top of everything, all of the resources that I've gotten to learn through are just amazing. So yeah, so mainly just focusing on facilitating the team's work, and the best part has been being able to collaborate with all the different team members. I know they're always just a ping away, and we can have a conversation, and I can help them with anything that they have pending. So that's been really awesome.
Nice. Alexis?
Yeah, so I actually started back in May, and next week is my last week of the internship. So I'm super sad to be leaving, but it has been really awesome getting to know MuleSoft technology. And I feel like I really learned a lot about the industry through the onboarding process and through working on my MCD certification. So I feel like I definitely got some hands-on experience with that. And I feel like I've learned a lot about the company that by working here that maybe you can't fully understand from the outside. So for example, I feel like with MuleSoft, it is a Salesforce company, but I feel like you do still have the feel of working at a smaller company, which I think has been really awesome for the, just the team dynamic and the MuleSoft dynamic.
Have you test, or is that upcoming?
It's upcoming. I'll be taking it next week.
Good luck. Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you.
Taylor?
I kind of second everything Alexa. I'm actually taking my MCD certification today at 5. So I'm super excited just because I've had an opportunity to work with the platform so much, API, and get that feel for the cloud. So similar to what Alexis is working on, I'm doing the same thing.
Awesome. Well, good luck. And both of you can now become mentors or in our community program. So I'm going to steal you away from your internship now and take you into our programs. No, I'm just kidding. But actually, though, please become part of the community because it would be awesome. And so now we're going to, we have some time for some more individual deep dive questions. So we're going to order for this is we'll ask Jackie, we'll ask Alexis, and then I'm going to hand it back over to Sandeep so he can kind of deep dive with Natalia and Taylor. So just to get started, you touched this a little bit, Jackie, already, but what was the main factor impacting your decision to pursue an MBA, and how has that helped you so far in your career in tech?
Yeah, so I alluded to this a little bit before, but my career goals were to work in a product-oriented role at a tech company. And kind of similar to the advice that I gave before, kind of when I looked at my resume and saw kind of what are the skills that I need to get there, I saw that there was a gap in my knowledge because my background is a little bit more technical in engineering. And so for me, I thought an MBA would be a great opportunity to take a step back, kind of go back to focus on learning after a few years in the working world, and then build the skills that I needed to move towards that next step that I really wanted to get to. And I think reflecting back on the first year of my MBA program, I think my MBA has helped my career in tech in a couple different ways. So the first is I think it really helped me hone in on the type of role that I wanted to have within a tech company and find the right role for me. So I think, being in school, you have that opportunity to do coffee chats, go to info sessions, speak to a lot of different people and figure out what really resonates with you. And so I think that was really helpful. And the second thing was being able to take specific classes that I knew were going to help me in my internship. And so I received my internship offer from MuleSoft back in November. So I had 2 full quarters of classes where I could specifically select things that I knew were going to be relevant for my internship. So I think it's definitely helped in those ways.
And I guess kind of coming back to your internship, you talked about what your projects are working on, your favorite thing. What's something that surprised you the most about your time here?
Yeah, so I think for me, what was surprising was just the types of projects that I've been able to work on as an intern and like the amount of impact I've been able to have just on my first 6.5 weeks of being here. So from my own experiences on just the second week of my internship, I was already like kicking off and leading my own project. On week 4, I was already able to start presenting some of the things that I was working on to some of our leadership teams. And now on week 6, I'm kicking off my own competitive program, which I'm going to present out to our global sales team at the end of my internship. So I think as an intern here, I know a lot of internships say that they give you a lot of responsibility and that you're going to have a lot of impact, but I think at MuleSoft, like that's really true. And so that's something that's definitely been a very pleasant surprise throughout my internship.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about your programs and your presentation to the team. And then last one that we have for you today is, how has your internship changed your perspective on a career in high tech?
Yeah, so I think what's, and I mentioned this a little bit before, but I think what's been awesome about this internship is it's let me kind of open my eyes to all of the different roles and all the different opportunities at a high tech company. So like I said, as part of the internship program, you're really encouraged to set up coffee chats and people are really open to speaking with you. There are so many different speaker series events where you get to hear from people from across all levels of the organization. And even just in my short time here, I've seen how much teams across MuleSoft are growing and expanding. And so I think for me, that showed how exciting it is to work for a high tech company, especially one like MuleSoft that's growing as fast as MuleSoft is, which has been awesome.
Well, thank you for sharing your experience with us. And now, Alexis, over to you. So my first question for you is, what are some things you got to do during your internship that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, so in addition to some of the stuff that Jackie was talking about the responsibility that they give the MuleSoft interns, separate from my role, I also got to MC Representation Matters, which is Salesforce's annual Equality and Racial Justice Summit, which was really awesome. I wasn't expecting to be able to do that as an intern, and I'm surprised that I got to do something so big and so public just for my summer here. So I think that was really awesome. And I think it shows that MuleSoft and Salesforce really they really care about their interns, and they really want to see us succeed and give us a lot of opportunities to put ourselves out there. So that was really great.
That was a fantastic event too. So congrats on finishing that.
Thank you.
Another question I have for you is, what skills have you learned this summer that you can use in other areas of your life? So beyond working in high tech, beyond getting a career in the future, what do you feel you're able to take away?
Yeah, I think honestly, a big one is working on a team. And I know that you can get that experience anywhere, but working on a team, especially where everyone else has a lot more hands-on experience than you, I think that just comes with the territory of being an intern, and especially being an intern in tech, is that everyone around you is going to have a lot more of that hands-on industry experience. So I think it was definitely a challenge at first working with my team that has a lot of very senior technical people on it, but I think now I have that skill to be able to hold my own in a room full of more experienced people. And also working virtually, one thing is taking classes on Zoom, and another thing is working a full-time job virtually. So I think that's definitely a skill that's going to be useful in the future, especially because I don't expect the tech industry to go back to fully in person at all, at least not anytime soon.
That's a skill we can all continue to learn and have learned definitely over the last few months. Awesome. And then last question I have for you in the spotlight is, what advice would you give the week 1 version of yourself now that your internship is coming to an end?
Yeah, I would tell myself to be confident and don't be shy. I remember the first week and a half, 2 weeks, I was so nervous. I was just nervous to get to know my team and nervous to get to know my manager. And I think if I could go back and tell myself anything, I would say just be confident, don't be shy. People here are so friendly, and they're always willing to chat with you and help you learn. And it all comes down to interns are hired because they want us to succeed, and they want us to have that experience. So I think everyone at MuleSoft does a really good job of keeping with that value and just wanting to help interns succeed and talk to you whenever you need help.
Awesome. I definitely agree with that. All right, Sandeep, I'm going to hand it over to you to bring us home with these 2 awesome ladies.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to Natalia and Taylor today. Personally, I've been seeing Natalia for the past few months. She's been so active on Slack. In the short amount of time she has been with us, she has made so much difference. So I'm excited to ask her a few questions and her experience was. So Natalia, how has the past experiences helped you with your MuleSoft internship? Can you give us a little bit more insight?
Yeah, so a lot of my past experience has been in operations and customer service roles. So I've really learned how to communicate with people and how to make things faster and just run overall smoother. So that's really helped me in this role, since most of what I'm doing is talking to team members, seeing how I can help them make their customer success processes, and just having everything in one place and being able to communicate with them and collaborate has been amazing. So I feel like I've been really prepared for that. And then I've also been able to touch up on my sales skills here. So That's been awesome.
And how about the technical aspects, right? How is the MuleSoft team helping you on the product side of the platform?
Yeah, so I've been really lucky. MuleSoft has so much enablement content and modules that are really helpful. They seem very overwhelming at first, but honestly, you can take them at your own pace and you can review them over and over again. And I think that's one thing that's really helped me. Coming from the business perspective, I really didn't know any of this information, but coming into it, that's been so helpful. And then always being able to ask my manager or anyone else on the team, they're so willing to help and give you so much detail. If you ask one question over Slack, my team members will be like, oh, let's hop on a call and I'll explain it to you. So everything's been super nice. And then the last thing is being able to sit in on meetings, like internal and customer meetings. I've been very lucky to be able to hear and just listen and piece everything together little by little.
That's great. Yep. And I'm glad that you are getting all the help you needed. So what can you talk about a few projects that you have been working in your internship and what impact it has been on your team?
Yeah, so my biggest one has been compiling all of the customer onboarding process into one giant checklist for the CSMs to follow that contains all of the send to customers, any templates or anything that will help their process easier. And so they don't have to go around and ask different people all the time. It's all in one document and they can refer back to it all the time. And then also just consolidating their reports. So as a CSM, you have a lot of reports for all your different customers and everything, and you always need to collaborate with other teams. So I'm working on consolidating a lot of the information so that they don't have to go searching for it. And so that's been my experience. And I'm glad that I've been able to provide some value to the team while I'm here.
Awesome. Yeah, it was great to have you as a team in our team, Natalia, and it was great working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep.
All right, Taylor, ready? Yeah, and just a quick, my interaction with Taylor. Taylor has been with us for like about 2-3 months now, Taylor.
Yeah.
And I'm really amazed with her curiosity and always wanting to learn more about the different use cases we have on our platform. So yeah, I'm very excited to have Taylor on the meetup today. So Taylor, can you talk to us about what has been the most impactful thing from this internship for you?
Yeah, so I want to touch on two things that have been the most impactful. The first thing has been navigating and finding solutions. So just to repeat what everyone said, sometimes it can be overwhelming to learn so much about a great technology. But I think my team has done a really good job at helping me navigate towards the right resources. And like Natalia says, once you become familiar with what MuleSoft is, it is easy to kind of go and look over those resources at your own pace and just kind of feel comfortable with not understanding or understanding as much as you want. And the second thing that was super impactful to me, coming from an emotional side, is I really love and appreciate all the support here at MuleSoft. From the bold internships, the women at MuleSoft, and even we have a group called like the Black Girl Muleys, So all of those things help me feel a sense of belonging. And I feel at any company, once you feel like you belong, it shows up in your work and it shows up in your attitude. So those have been the most impactful to me.
So I have another question. So we keep on talking about value in MuleSoft, right? So can you talk about how an intern could bring value in such a short period of time? So, curious to learn your thoughts.
Yeah, so there's always conversation about value here at MuleSoft. And I think the greatest value an intern could bring is perspective. Sometimes when you're on a team with the senior leader management, it's easy for them to get caught up in the work that they're doing and kind of see the new solutions that could be added. And so while sometimes you may feel like my value has to be a great assignment, it has to be this great presentation, sometimes it's just your outside thought. Sometimes it's just that new perspective and fresh breath of air that you bring to your team. So that's the value that I feel like all interns could definitely bring.
Great. Let's talk about diversity, right? How do you feel about how women in tech or women of color can, impact the industry? And what do you think MuleSoft could do more that could support or have other few factors that could support the women in tech?
Yeah, so to iterate on my first part is that I think MuleSoft does a really good job of inclusiveness, right? I've had women groups, I've had MuleSoft groups, I even had, they gave us the ability to create our own travel groups, the vegan groups here at MuleSoft. But where I think that they could do better is maybe in our teams kind of reflect that same attitude a lot. So you have a lot of outside resources, but I think if teams could honestly debrief maybe once or twice a week to kind of check the tempo, that'll kind of help make the teams a little bit stronger and push drive. So I think that's where diversity could help, because if one of us wins, all of us wins, kind of thing.
Exactly, and that's all good feedback. Sabrina, do we have any other questions? I think we're
Yes, we have two. So the first one is from Monique, one of our MuleSoft ambassadors, and he says, learning never stops, and especially learning from others' experiences, which I guess would be very intense during internships. How do you work on retaining the learnings you've had during your internship for the long run? And anyone can chime in. This is open question and answer. So
I can answer this. So I think in the context of having so many coffee chats and info sessions where or speaker series where you're getting tons of different advice and could be kind of hard to retain and keep track of all of that. So something that I've done in this internship is just to kind of create like a log of everybody that I've spoken to and like the top 3 takeaways from that chat or that session, so that at the end of the internship, I can kind of go through and I have all of the really helpful advice and learnings kind of all consolidated in one place. So I think for me, that's something that's been really helpful.
awesome. Anyone else like to chime in?
Kind of going back to what I said, a lot of the things that I've learned as part of this internship are things that I can apply to different areas of my life. So I think maybe now that I've learned those things and I know to keep an eye out for them, I can make sure to put those things into practice. And I think by putting them into practice, I won't be forgetting them.
Awesome. Okay, we have one more. This is from Brittany, and she says, hi, everyone. What advice do you have for someone who is beginning to learn MuleSoft with no prior experience or education in computer science? My background is microbiology, but I enjoy learning new things. Taylor, do you want to take this since you're taking your MCD later today?
Yes, Brittany. So the advice that I have for you, so I kind of came in. So even though I had a background in computer science and I'm in grad school, you would think that I would come in and completely crush it. Being transparent, you're always going to learn something new at MuleSoft. So one, I would say just be confident walking in, and two, just know that there are tons of resources for you to access. So if you are someone who wants to learn MuleSoft, kind of research what MuleSoft is and then check the website for all of the resources they have to prep you for MCD or kind of understanding Java or what they use, data weave, I would say. So check out the resources, do a little bit of research, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Anybody else wants to chime in?
I think one thing I would add is I also had zero experience. Like I studied finance, I didn't know anything. Definitely just show interest and like people who will help you and show them that you really care and that you're open to learning. I think that's something really important. I talked to a few people before my interviews and they were like, no, just learn as much as you can from resources on the internet. Like there's a lot of information there, and just inform yourself, know about it, and have conversations with people and show them that you're open to learning and that you really want to be a part of this. And the people will definitely notice that and be willing to help you so much more.
And join meetups because we have a lot of content on meetups.
Nice plug.
Yep. So yeah, I think did we cover all the questions, Sabrina?
Yeah, I think so. Unless anyone has any more they want to sneak into the chat, we'll kind of provide some closing remarks, thank our speakers. So you have 10 seconds, send them in. No, I'm just kidding. We can wait a couple minutes if anyone else has any questions. Okay, last call. All right, thank you all. I just really want to say thank you to our wonderful speakers, not just for participating in this meetup, but for all the work that you've done. I'm looking forward to staying connected with you all, and I hope our attendees were able to learn some great advice that they can take into their own careers wherever they are. And yeah, always keep learning. I think that's the main takeaway I've had from this meetup is just it's important to always keep learning and bring new perspectives. Definitely in the day-to-day grind you can forget to do. So thank you all. I've definitely learned something from you all. So thank you. And Sandeep, I don't know if there's any other last minute housekeeping for this meetup, but if not, thank you attendees. This wraps up today, and we'll see you at another meetup.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you all the speakers as well. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.